it is time to look at the Beorning Rework on the update 37 beta. As we know, we're getting the Beorning and the Guardian rework with this update. So we're going to take a look at exactly what has happened with Beorning and all the new changes. The first thing we can take a look at is how the main stats will work for Beorning. And actually, it's really straightforward for Beorning. Might will give you the most benefit for tanking Beorning. If you want to play Red Bear and DPS, then Agility is your best stat, giving a lot of DPS stats. And then will be your healing rating that you should go for as a yellow Beorning. Vitality will increase your morale, and since Beorning doesn't use power, Fate, instead of giving power, will give maximum morale to the Beorning, giving them a little bit more morale from their Fate. So for the Beorning class, Might for healing, Agility for DPS, and Will for healers. When it comes to trait lines, Blue and Red line are not quite ready yet, so we're not going to take closer looks on those. Yellow line is pretty much ready for testing, and that's the line we're going to delve into in this video. But I would like to take a quick look at the hide, see if we notice anything different, because the traits have been updated. Just on my first glance, it seems like this is a new trait. Guarded attack, giving a fistmit. Animalistic, I think, got moved up a bit. Should be a lot of new traits for Beorning, as well as a new capstone trait, Cultivate. I open up a Blue line Bear. A lot of these traits had name changes, but just taking a quick look. Paladin increases name Nature's Bounty. Posting Presence has a new icon. There's a trait called the Dancing Bear, which should increase your evade. It seems like Vitality is just placeholder. Sacrifice is still there. Vigilant Roar. Recuperate has been moved up, so it's more accessible as a yellow bear, easier to get Recuperate. That's pretty good news. Recuperate easier to get. You can also get the increased healing on Recuperate. But on the flip side, Armor Crush is being moved down a bit. And we also know that Armor Crush is getting nerfed a bit as well. Currently, I believe Armor Crush is 15%, but with this change, it'll go down to 12%. And at the bottom of Blue, it seems like we have some unfinished traits. Not gonna spend too much time with this. Just quickly gonna go through Red line. It seems pretty similar, but I'm pretty sure most of these are not finished. We can't really look at this. There's gonna be some new skills in Red. Trample, we can see. Improve Trample. You can see that there's still placeholders. Everything has crit chance increase. So we can just look at the tooltips, not exactly what they do. But yeah, Trample will be a new skill. Savage Blows increases your melee damage. Execute. Oh yeah, so the line on the right should have new skills. Execute, Moment of Opportunity, and Final Strikes. There's going to be a thing with those traits. Blood Price seems like a new icon as well. Some new icons and some new skills, but Blue and Red are still unfinished. So instead, in this video, we're gonna have our main focus on Yellow Line Bear. A couple of general changes before diving into Yellow Line. Wanderlust has been increased to 68%, up from 62%, and Nature's Vengeance, your corruption removal, now costs 5 Wrath. It's no longer free. So, if you look at Yellow Beorning just outside of the traits, it looks normal. I think everything here is still the same. But once we open the trait line, we can see that there's a few different things. One notable change we can see already is that Debilitating Beast is at the top of Yellow line, switching places with Raging Blow, or Raging Blow moving to the 4th line of traits. Debilitating Beast also gets a big nerf. It is now only 5% Fistmit debuff at max rank, but probably a needed nerf to this skill. The Fate trait from the top right of Yellow has changed name to Torrent and no longer gives Fate, because Beorning basically just gets morale from Fate. It would be kind of boring to have that as a Yellow line trait. The trait has now changed to give you Will, which is the best healing stat, and also increased the critical healing magnitudes. So gonna be a must pick for Yellow Beorning for the increased critical healing magnitude. A few traits have changed the amount of ranks they need. Just gonna add some points so we can look at these traits. Stampede now has a max of 3 ranks. I believe they had 5 on live. but you still get the same benefit from maxing it out. Imposing Presence now has 2 ranks. I believe it has 3 ranks on live, but still the same effect maxed out. And Crippling Roar now only has 1 rank, and I'm pretty sure it has 4 ranks on live, so just less points to get the same effect. And the reason for this is to open up for some of the new traits that have been added. So as you might have noticed, there's 2 brand new traits that we can look at here. The first one, almost in the top left of yellow, is Nature's Salve. This is a new bear form heal. 45-second cooldown, heals the entire raid, but only a 10-meter radius. So if you're using this skill, make sure you're as close to as many people as you can be before using this, because this will still be a raid-wide heal. So applying points into this gives you the skill and increases the heal for Nature's Salve. The other skill is a single target man form heal. And this skill has a 20-second cooldown. One nice thing about this skill is that it actually adds 10 to Wrath when you use it. It doesn't cost Wrath, but instead builds your Wrath. The other new trait slash skill we have is To Your Aid. This skill has a 20-second cooldown. It adds 20 to Wrath, so a really big Wrath builder to your aid, giving you a good chunk of Wrath. And this skill is basically a man form single target heal, and if this is being used on your target of your Mark of Grimbeorn, typically your tank, then your target will get 2% increase Physmit and Tactmit for 10 seconds. If you keep To Your Aid active at all times, then you'll have a 50% uptime on 2% mits on your Mark of Grimbeorn target. 2 new skills added: Nature's Salve, raid-wide bear heal with a pretty long cooldown, 45 seconds, and the other one is a bit shorter cooldown, To Your Aid, single target big heal, giving mits to your target if they have your mark, and both these skills will add Wrath. Another new thing to the yellow line traits: Nature's Mend will now tier up when you heal it if you trade for it. And of course we're going to take a look at how this works, but basically every time you use a heal, it'll tier up and heal for more. Other than that, there's not really any more big changes to yellow line, but there are some changes to how the healing works for a Beorning. We're going to take a look at that right now. So this is how the new healing Beorning will work. Looking first at the man skills. As far as I know from this beta, only 3 skills can be used raid-wide. These skills are Relentless Maul. This stays as a raid-wide heal, but the cooldown is increased to 45 seconds. Nature's Salve, which is the new bear heal, will also be raid-wide, although with a 10-meter radius, you need to be kind of close to people to hit the heal on them. And the last skill that will still be raid-wide is Rejuvenating Bellow, but not raid-wide as we know it. Currently on beta, Rejuvenating Bellow is a targetable skill, so you need a target to heal this skill. So if I target myself, I will heal myself and anyone within a 20-meter radius. And the thing about this skill, it's going to be fellowship-wide, but the goal is when you're in a raid, you're going to have 2 groups of 6, and you should be able to target Rejuvenating Bellow. So if you target someone in your group, Bellow will heal the 6 players in your group. But if you target someone in the other group, then it will heal that fellowship. So the end goal for Bellow is to make it fellowship healable, but you can kind of select which fellowship you want to heal with it. Encouraging Roar is staying the same, so except for Bellow, Nature's Salve, and Relentless Maul, every other fellowship skill will be locked to fellowship wide. And I believe currently on beta, Hearten, Nature's Mend, To Your Aid, and Encouraging Roar can only be used on members in your fellowship. And I believe that if you're in a raid, you can only target members in your fellowship still. You cannot cross heal with these heals. I read on the forum that this is the case, and I think that's really bad. I don't think there's a reason for your single target heals to not be able to cross heal, so I think Hearten, Nature's Mend, To Your Aid, and also Encouraging Roar should be able to target anyone in a raid, since they're single target heals. I do think overall that the raid-wide heals for the bear were probably a bit too strong, and I'm glad we're still keeping some of the identity, adding Nature's Salve as a pretty long cooldown for 45 seconds, but still it's a raid-wide heal. Relentless Maul can still be used if the raid needs a lot of healing overall, and Bellow should be able to cross-heal the other fellowship in a raid, and hopefully we get the ability to heal our single targets to any targets in a raid. But to go through these healing skills, here's how it's going to work. Hearten still stays the same, works as before. Nature's Mend now tiers up. I'm going to go ahead and use Nature's Mend on myself. You can see that I now have Nature's Mend tier 1. If you use it again on this target before the 12 seconds are out, it'll heal for more, tier 2, and then once again you can get to tier 3 and then tier 4 with increased healing. If you let the buff fall off on the target and you do it again, it starts again at tier 1. So it seems like the idea for Nature's Mend is to keep refreshing it on the same target whenever you're in man form. Tier 3, and then the last tier will be tier 4. Will be the biggest heal, and then it resets again, starting Nature's Mend back at tier 1. I don't see why it couldn't stay on tier 4, that's probably something that makes sense to me. Like you tier it up, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and then if you keep repeating the healing, it should stay at tier 4 in my opinion. To your aid is your brand new skill, 20-second cooldown adds 22 wrath, and if you use it on your mark, I'm going to put mark on myself, this is to your aid. And as you can see, I now have the 2% Fizzmid and Tacmid for 10 seconds. So if you're able to use it on your mark target, they get the benefit of the increased mids for 10 seconds. So I guess when you swap to man form, you'll do your Nature's Mend, maybe Hearten, and then you have your to your aid as well before going back to bear form. Rejuvenating Bellow is going to change from raid-wide to fellowship-wide, but like I said, you should be able to target which fellowship to heal. But it's going to be a fellowship-wide heal going forward. Currently on beta, it's only a max 7 targets around the target because they still haven't hooked it up to work properly to heal the chosen fellowship. Encouraging Roar, as far as I know, is still the same. Single target heal, and if the mark is on the target, you get a heal over time that can tier up. Nature's Salve is your brand new skill. 45-second cooldown adds 10 to wrath, but a pretty strong raid-wide heal that I'm going to use right now. Pretty much the same animation as your other healing skills as a bear. And then finally, Relentless Maul, longer cooldown, but still the same effect, healing your raid over time during your channel time. So I think that pretty much covers the yellow Beorning. Red and blue should be fixed next week for the next beta, and of course we're going to take a look whenever that happens. But for now, this is the yellow bear changes that we're getting. Some new changes, some new skills. I'm personally pretty hopeful for the Beorning, looks pretty good to me. So we'll see when people get to play it on live and try it out in instances, how they perform in fellowships, and more importantly, how they still perform in a raid. Beorning also gets a couple of new traceries for their 2 new skills. To your 8 healing, increase 22% with legendary, and plus 5.5 seconds to your 8 mitigation duration, making the duration of to your 8 15.5 seconds, nearly 100% uptime, making to your 8 a really strong skill for your tank. And for Nature's Salve, you can increase the healing and reduce the Nature's Salve cooldown by 11 seconds, making Nature's Salve a 34-second cooldown. Hey! Hey you! Yeah you! What do you want? You enjoy my content and you want to support me? Fine, I'll show you how you can do it. I would really appreciate if you like the video and subscribe to my channel. You can also support me through my Ko-fi homepage. If you're playing or looking to play Lord of the Rings online, there is one place you need to be. The Ghyniverse is a Discord server created for the community of the players of Lord of the Rings Online. The server is getting close to 7,000 members, and in this server you'll find tons of helpful information. There's monthly giveaways, easy access to patch notes, you can keep up with my YouTube videos, my streams. If you're a streamer, you can ask for the streamer role and you can announce your streams in the other stream channel. There are discussion channels for pretty much everything, every class, monster players, But the best thing about this server is probably the Gearing Resources tab, where you can find anything from trait lines for every class, every build. There are stat goals where you can find out what stats you should aim for on your characters. Really helpful information about drop rates from instances, as well as screenshot from all the new loot that appears in the game. If you enjoy Lotro, you should definitely consider joining this server, and hopefully I'll see you in Middle Earth. If you were part of the Ghyniverse already, you might have noticed that another tab appeared at the top, the LFF server. This server is a brand new server that I created, the LFF Ghyniverse. In this server, you can select which servers you want to keep up with, and once you select your server, say you select Arkenstone, you will see the LFF, the kinship advertisement, looking for kinship and trade channels, and there's also voice channels if people want to use those. The LFF channel is basically a looking for fellowship channel where people can post if they need players for the runs, and this way people don't have to be logged into the game to see the chat. They can just instead get a notification on their Discord. There's also a kinship advertisement page where kins can post their kinship advertisement and have people join their kins, and you can also post in the looking for kinship chat if you're looking for a kinship, but make sure to take a look in the kinship advertisement first and look through all the kin to find a suitable kin for you. There's also a trade channel if people want to buy or sell stuff that you can use. Hopefully you'll consider joining this server to bring the community even more together, not just in the game, but also outside of the game.